Hey YouTube, back for another best of three draft in the Powered Cube for Magic the Gathering Arena. Today is a wonderful day in the store. We had a reduced price draft token. We always buy those, it's free money, and we're going to cash that in and hope this draft rock and rolls. Let's see what our draft has in store for us. This is, of course, a wonderful day. It's the day that Magic the Gathering Arena gives us a reduced price draft in the store. So of course we cash that in. Interesting pack. We could slam a Mox Opal and just try to run artifacts. That is obviously a choice. Prismatic Vista keeps us quite open. I think Ponder's okay. I think Fallen Shinobi's okay. I think Titania's okay. For me, I think really the only two picks here are Prismatic Vista and Mox Opal. I think everything else is way too much of a hedge. Mox Opal's already a hedge, and it's the best hedge. Obviously, a Mox is a Mox if you can make it be a Mox. Prismatic Vista just is going to make every deck we draft. There's no draft where we don't end up playing Vista in our deck. I'm going to take the chance on artifacts. I think Mox Opal has the way bigger payoff, even if we end up cutting it. I think the odds are a lot better for us overall, taking a card, pack one, pick one that we can try and build around and potentially have a really strong deck. Another pack that I am just like not super excited by. Blue-white is generally the place to be for the artifact deck. I think taking a pick 2 Hollowed Fountain is just so weak. Mind Twist is in the pack and Reanimate is in the pack. I think they're both excellent. I don't love Reanimator in this cube, and I especially don't love it in best of 3. I think there's a lot of cards that punish the kind of Reanimator strategy, especially sideboard cards. I want to take a Mind Twist. I imagine there's a world where even if we're in artifacts, we have the acceleration where we can play a Mind Twist. Mind Twist can just instantly win you a game, and everything else here is just so much weaker that I don't feel very interested in taking it. Jace is okay. We have nothing to support it, though. Ooh. Wow. Mystic Confluence is good. I don't like taking it kind of in the open like this, where we have nothing blue, nothing artifacts. Pentad Prism does go in the artifact deck. I'm not crazy about it. I think I'm taking an easy Dismember here. It's going to make all of our decks. It's kind of like taking that Vista on pick 1. I mean, if I'm not taking Dismember, the Pentad Prism and Crucible Worlds are just too weak by themselves. I don't see a world where Dismember is not what I'm taking, so I'm slamming it. Okay, another pack that I am just not excited by. Artifacts seems pretty non-existent, I will say. We've seen basically nothing artifact-wise. Saheeli is an artifact card. It's just so much weaker than I would prefer to be playing. Reprieve is good. It puts us in another color and not a particularly open color. It's the only white card in this pack. Man, these have been some tough opening packs. Ziatoros is okay since we know we're playing black for the Mind Twist and likely the Dismember. Be like a kind of Jund him out. I just am not enthused by taking a Ziatoros Proving Ground here. I'm going to take Reprieve. I think Reprieve is very good. I'm going to be not too upset if I don't get it. I really don't want to be Reanimator. I've already said it. Reanimate Dead is good. I think it's one of the worst of the animates, though. Although you don't lose life for it, it is an enchantment. And so not only are you susceptible to them having graveyard hate, you're also now susceptible to them having enchantment hate. And there's plenty of that. Snuff Out's great if we're in black. We're gonna be like you don't get to play aggro because I'm just gonna kill everything that you play, and that is a strategy that I can get behind. Leovold on like the draw 7 kind of control-y route. Cauldra as a hedge for Stoneforge Mystic. Skyclave because it's just fine. Savai Triumph as a tapped black-white land. I don't know. This is just another pack where I'm like not enthused. I think I'm gonna take Savai Triumph here as a black-white land. It's gonna make our deck, assuming we're playing Reprieve. I think Overgrown Tomb's even okay here. I think Leovold's also okay. Tried to, but we're not really in the draw 7 thing. And all these white cards are both unenthusing and replaceable. So I'm gonna take the Triumph. Um, yeah, wow. We could tap into blue, do like, we have a Displacer kit in here, which is great with Mox Opal, assuming we find a way to do something with it. There's a Go for the Throat, which is like fine removal, but we already have a Snuff Out and a Dismember. Dreams of Steel and Oil is an okay Thoughtseize effect. I'm gonna take Mire. It goes and gets our Triumph already, and it's possible that we want more opportunities like that. 8th pick, Wheel of Fortune? What? Okay. Um, okay. I don't even know what to think about that. A Braid is great. We have a lot of ways. Wheel of Fortune is just not the card that we're doing things with right now. It's the most powerful though by a mile. I think it's way more powerful than a Braid. Echo's in the pack. We don't really have a way to discard it, and we're not in blue. I'm gonna take the wheel. I think it just opens the most opportunities to do broken things. We have no creatures for this Fallen Shinobi, which is the strongest individual card in the pack. If we're doing... Okay, let's ignore the Reprieve and view the Triumph as a red-black land. What if we were like Grixis, Wheels, Graveyard, and be in like the Breach deck? If that's true, I want Frantic Search, or at least the red-blue land. I'm going to take Frantic Search, and here's why. I think we're setting ourselves up to at least backdoor into being a very powerful deck off of this Wheel of Fortune. And now I can take Xander's Lounge and kind of have that be like a replacement Triumph. I could also take the Verge. No, I want to take Xander's Lounge. Pentad Prism I like a lot in decks where you're trying to do broken things. And if we're like a Grixis Wheels deck, Pentad Prism's a lot more exciting. We're still really not artifacts, we just haven't seen it. And I'm passing up a Fiery Islet to take a Pentad Prism that could just like be an absolute blowout. I like that. I think Fiery Islet's replaceable. Proving Ground. I'm going to take Urtai. I don't want a third Triumph. I don't want a green land that can tap for black if I have a swamp. I'm moving away. Oh, Profs is amazing with Wheel of Fortune. It's also just a good card. I'm going to take the Battle Spear in case we end up in a more artifacty thing, and the Oddity's not making our deck. Reprieve's probably not making our deck. No power again. Yikes. That's okay. I mean, I say that's okay. This pack is just not exciting. We have a portal to get off of a hypothetical Tinker, although Artifacts has not seemed to open, and we have basically no acceleration. Pyrite Spellbomb, if we're doing like the wheel cheaty thing. Oculus, and the best cards in the pack, like Solitude. I think I'm going to take the Arid Mesa, just take a fetch. I don't like basically any of these cards too much. Portal might be a bummer to have passed if we get past like a Tinker right here, but I just don't see a world where we take a Portal and then we don't end up using it, and it's just so much worse for our deck. We did not get immediately punished in getting past a Tinker. I think this Mox Opal is probably out of the deck right now, unless we see a whole bunch more artifacty stuff. Hymn to Turok is great in decks that can cast it. It goes great with our Mind Twist as like that's our win condition. Nethergoyf is only your graveyard, but this card is obnoxious, and I'm going to take it. I think it's better than Remand. I think it's a turn 1 play that has to be respected, and this is a fast cube, and I like having turn 1 plays that have to be respected. Skull Clamp is really good. We have like no creatures. Force of Will is Force of Will. It can get you out of games that you feel like you would otherwise just lose. Although we're quite low on blue cards. Currently, we only have the one red card in wheel, so we are likely to be picking up more blue cards, and Force is just so much more powerful than everything else here. Emperor Bones is good, Fatal Push is good, Shieldred's Edict is good. I would even take a Hearse. Flame Slash is good. We're gonna wheel something out of this pack. Um, yeah, we need 7 cards to get taken that don't include at least one of the things I said, and that's including the fact that Ending's almost certainly getting taken, Skull Clamp's getting taken, and Archive's probably getting taken. So we take the Force of Will into Mana Drain. Wow. We could have had Stoneforge Cauldron, but I'm much happier being in this like blue unfair deck, or fair deck actually. You know, just countering, removing, and then playing towards win conditions. One thing is that we need to be very aware of is right now we don't have a lot of the way in win conditions. We don't have a combo to mill them out. Wheel of Fortune right now is just a draw 7. We have a Profs and not a lot of creatures. We have a Nethergoyf and Urtai. That's it. Pentad Prism's looking worse by the moment, but that's okay. Speaking of creatures that actually help, oh my goodness, the Tinker I took by accident. I didn't. I just wanted to hover over that. Oh no. We could have had a Barrowgoyf. If that Portable Hole wheels, it's worth it. Oh well, Miscooks, we live on. We have Mox Opal, Pentad Prism, and this Tinker, and a Mirror Battlesphere to go get. This could be our backup plan. Oh, that's such a bummer. That is not what I wanted to click. It's okay. We're getting a Tameo. Tameo's fantastic, obviously. Passing a Marshfloss, a Wari Land, a Wari Grave, a Marshfloss, and Chromag Star. Unfortunately, only 2 cards are coming back from this pack, and it's probably going to be like Sylvan Caryatid, and then either Nia, or Faithless Looting, or maybe Rafines. Ah, we could have had Barrowgoyf. I wonder. I mean, that's one of those picks, like, obviously that was an accident, and life goes on. Imagine we end up in the artifact deck of Tinker, and it is totally worth it, and it makes our deck. It's also Force of Willable. High Quantum Riddler, you're great. Psychic Frog's insane. We're going to get 1 card back from this pack. It's probably Restless Ridgeline, or one of these 2 green cards, maybe Kellen, but Psychic Frog wins games. That's a Time Spiral and a Time Warp. Time Spiral's powerful. We have minimal acceleration. Time Warp's good, but we're not really doing anything where like we like are winning the game off of Time Warping. We don't have like a big creature presence. I like Time Spiral enough. We haven't seen Hull Breacher. We haven't seen I think Narset's in the cube, so man, right now I really wish this Tinker was a Barrowgoyf. We did not wheel Portable Hole. As kind of expected, this pack was pretty weak. I don't really want a Lava Spurbert boots. I'll take a Pyrite Spellbomb, and it moves us in the right direction towards artifacts. Remand is so much better than Soul Guide that I can't pass it. Okay. I'm not seeing this Tinker as a way... Well, there's that Emperor Bones back. In terms of removal, we don't have a lot. We have Snuff Out and Dismember, I guess. I think Emperor Bones is just oppressive. It goes in your deck in the main board. You don't even need things to target with it to make it great. It prevents your opponent from hitting Delirium, having a bunch of cards in the graveyard. Hold on. Tinker for Citadel is real. Interesting. And then we could take like a Bank Buster. I don't know. Hologon's Command is very impressive. But Bank Buster's great, so I'm going to take it. And we got the Star back. Hold on. Are we backdooring into artifacts like a wild person? We might be here. No power. Bummer. Oh well. I think Deep Cavern Bat is fantastic, and I'm gonna take it. It's so disruptive, and knowing what's in your opponent's hand when you have counter magic and wheels can be super impactful. So I'm gonna take it here. We're getting there on our artifact count. Right now we're at 1. Tameo makes 1 almost always, so I kind of almost want to count it as 2. And then a Star is 3. Opal puts us to 4. Pyrite, which I'm happy to just run in the main board, is 5. Pentad's great, 6. And then we just run this Tinker. I don't love tinkering for Battlesphere, um, but with a mana drain as well in the deck, it might be worth it. And then we have nothing in the sideboard where it's tagged about. Wasteland is good, and Strip Mine in the same pack. Wow, whoever took that. Crucible's quite happy, obviously. There's a Luris. Right now, we would need to cut all of our top end, basically, which I'm not a fan of. Very happy taking Stock Up. Stock Up is a pretty busted card. It also is throwable to our Force of Will, which I'm quite happy about doing. Huh. That's Tendrils. We're kind of not storming, though. Boss still is just going to be a value machine, and Brainstorm helps accomplish that. It also flips Tameo. We could very easily wheel Tendrils, but we're just not really in the deck for it. Oh my goodness, that's a balance. This is the deck for Booster Tutor. Wow, this pack is nuts. Booster Tutor, Get Probe, Inquisition, Fiery Confluence, and Balance. Wow. I actually think the pick is Booster Tutor. I'm not doing the double red thing. Get Probe's good. I already have a ton of blue cards, and it's not an artifact. I want Booster Tutor to be able to solve my problem because our deck's going to be very reliant on solving the problem of the moment. And Booster Tutor, that's actually what it's quite good at, is giving you a thing for the moment that is helpful. Shelldock, when we have Time Spiral, Bolas the Citadel, Mere Battlesphere, is pretty decent. DRC with all of this, everything, all this early plays is pretty great. I'm going to take DRC. That's a converter. I like it more than Spell Pierce here with a Tinker. I think this means we are actually tinkering, which is kind of insane. That we've basically backdoored into Tinker artifacts. There's a Narset to go with our Time Spiral. There's also Kappa Cannoneer to go with our Tinker. That is a really tough choice. That is so tough. Kappa Cannoneer is very good, but I want Narset for our draw 7 synergy. And it also finds us pieces. It just kind of does it all. Badlands is a free roll. It's fetchable. Doesn't make anything not what it already is, but that's okay. I like that better than a Surveil Land when we already have 2 tap lands. Scrubland, a green-white fetch gets Savai Triumph exactly. We have a red-blue tapped land that's fetchable off of both of our fetches. Or a Jite, or a Malcolm. I think this is a Malcolm deck, actually. I don't like any of these lands enough. We wield Wasteland in our 3-color deck, but keeping them off mana is going to be pretty impressive. I don't want anything else here. We could even just sideboard it in. I think Expressive Iteration's fine. I don't know if I want it here. We did wheel the Tendrils into Fairy. Beaumont Courier as another way to tinker. I feel like it's getting a little too spicy. I think I'm actually going to take Ghostfire Slice and then sideboard it in if they have a ton of multicolored permanents and things that I want to Ghostfire Slice. Red-Black Talisman's fantastic. Free Black Cleave Cliffs. Wow, this Wheel of Fortune and DRC are basically free rolls. Phantasmal Image is amazing against decks that are cheating things in. Okay. This Tinker ended up being a pick. Would I rather still have had a Barrowglyph and then not have taken artifacts at all? Maybe. Right now, we are over cards, though. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 lands. Might be a bit aggressive. As always, I pull out cards that make mana, and we check out how we're doing there. We have a Talisman and a Pentad Prism as ways to make mana. How many artifacts did we actually end up with? 9. And one of them is the Mox Opal. I think I'm still playing Mox Opal. It's just good enough that I feel like it's a worthwhile play. What are we cutting? This is kind of crazy. I guess we didn't really end up doing frantic search things, and that's okay. I think Mirror Biosphere is a sideboard card. It is an artifact, but it's not really an artifact for our early game Mox Opal shenanigans that we're trying to do. But we still need a lot of cuts. This is kind of difficult. I think Malcolm. So we have like the draw 7 thing, or draw a lot of cards thing, with like Profs and Malcolm and Narset and Wheel of Fortune and Time Spiral. And then we have this like backdoor artifacts. There's a possibility that we just cut all the artifact stuff. Like I said, is it possible we didn't want to be doing Tinker things anyway? I would keep Currency Converter in. I think it's good enough. I don't think Reckoner Base Buster's good enough. Bolus of Siddle's probably not good enough. And then we could like, oh, well, I mean, we should play the Talisman. And then we're just like a control deck with profs and a bunch of removal and discard and value with a Time Spiral top end. I don't know. This is tough. This is a tough build. I want to do the artifact things. I think it's much more broken. But we're almost always playing like a turn 3 Tinker. And I think turn 3 Tinker is a lot worse. We're not ramping into it in any way, shape, or form. I kind of want to basically be a fair deck. Maybe playing like Phantasmal Image over... I guess Chromatic Star is not really great if we're not doing Tinker things or Mox Opal things. Everything else here is still pretty fantastic. Or we cut a land. And our colors are very heavy blue. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 black cards to go get. Or black lands to go get, so I cut Swamp. Okay, this is the deck. We can always sideboard into artifacts, but we're going to start off as like a Grixis mid-range draw 7 deck. Gives us a lot of ways to win. It means we're not going to have nearly as busted opening draws, but when I don't have the acceleration to be able to do Tinker things on like turn 2 at least, I think Tinker gets a lot worse, and I especially don't like that my Tinker isn't going and getting something crazy. This is one of those hands where you keep it on going second, because it's got your mana, it's got powerful 2s and 3s, it's good enough to keep, and I'm going to keep it, because it's hard to imagine we have too much better, and your opponent could just blow you out of the water. I'm actually probably not keeping this Sanders Lounge if I can avoid it. So I'm just going to keep a Brainstorm in case they play something I want to hide. Narset DRC. This turn I'm playing Deep Cavern Bat. Put 2 lands on top. Alright. We didn't hit a way to shuffle away the cards we put on Brainstorm, but give us information about what's going on over here. Oko, Echo, Minxkenbu, Prime Time. What are we doing over here? I guess I just take... Wow, this is interesting, to say the least. I think I take Minxkenbu. They're gonna play Oko next turn, and that's fine. They probably tap it up and make a food. And then we go Narset and don't tap it down. And if they don't find a way to deal with the Narset, we wheel and they lose their hand. I like that. Yeah, if we tap it down, they can take the food they made and turn it into a 3/3. Which I obviously don't like. Yeah, so you play Oko.
Shear the wool from your eyes and spin you clarity.
You can't turn that into a 3/3. It will not work the way you think it does. Yeah, create a food. We play Narset. We don't tap it down and we don't attack. I actually want... No, I don't want chump block. I still don't want to attack in case they play a haster. Because if they play something they can deal with Deep Cavern Bat, it puts Minx and Boo in their hand, and it means they can't, what's the words I'm looking for? It means they won't have the opportunity to then also play Minx and Boo, so, because they had to spend mana. Yeah, so you make this a 3/3.
Surely you see the humor here.
I don't block.
You could use some training.
Do you have a way to finish the Narset? Yavamaya's fine. Rathalos is fine. I mean, it's not actually very fine, I would say. Okay. I can play a land here first, and then, but it would mean I have triple blue up. It's probably, so I could go like Xander's Lounge, Wheel of Fortune, so that I have all the mana next turn. We're only making them discard, they'll draw one card. So we're making them discard Echo, and it's probably still worth it. Yeah. I'm going to play Xander's Lounge first, and then I'm going to wheel. And let's see what we draw. I want to see Force of Will blue card. That is not Force of Will blue card. And we're never blocking, because then they get a Minxcamboo to play. So we just attack. And since we're sacking this anyway, I don't care if they Echo. I want to find Force of Will. That's the way I deal with this Echo. That's not that, but it is a snuff out. So now if they Wheel of Fortune to me, I get to it's our die. If they Wheel of Fortune me, I get to snuff out something first. Or not Wheel of Fortune, Echo. This is a weird game. Also, it turns out that playing Xander's Lounge was right. We did not draw a untapped colored source to play like Netherglyph. We could have played Wasteland and blown up the Yavimaya. But there we have two of the three. Yeah, Rathalos taps for a million anyway already. Okay, so in response to that, I am gonna snuff out. I think it's the 3/3. I want Rathalos in play instead of in deck because I have so much removal to draw into. Narset Time Spiral. I'm excited by that. We can play Psychic Frog Tameo here. They have a lot of mana. This has been a weird game. We're playing a weird deck. I'm not upset about the deck we have. It's just notably less powerful than I would like it to be. Okay, making Deep Cavern Bat not a flyer. Playing a Courser. And an Elves. Currency Converter. Huh. I can play... They're gonna have so much mana next turn. I think I have to kill Rathalos now. So if I'm killing Rathalos, I'm playing Tameo. And then I'm Urtying Rathalos. You can draw a card. And I'm not going to trade Deep Cavern Bat and give them Minxcamboo. So we're just going to keep it on the battlefield. Next turn, we can Narset, down ticket. They have a Snapcaster with nothing in the graveyard. That tells me this is very possibly a Time Walk deck or an Ancestral deck. Snapcaster is good in a lot of decks, but it's best in those two decks, and you take it much more highly in that. They're in the colors for Time Walk. Yeah, there it is. Bristly Bill. They played their land first, which is weird. They have no attacks. They get a lot of turns here. They can Snapcaster Time Walk now. Alright, we're just in the waiting game here. I want them to exile that Time Walk. I do not want to see like a Tameo. Okay, Time Walk gone. I like that a lot. Do. We have a lot of fantastic draws. Yeah, if this is what we're doing, I'm fine with it. We're just passing through combat to our third turn in a row. Chromox Crop Rotation. Crop Rotation of Bristly Bill makes some sense. This is where not having like a Toxic Deluge or a Fire Covenant or really any other board clear effect is pretty brutal. I'm struggling to see how we really ever win here, but we're gonna see the max out of their deck. They have a Hull Breacher. Oh, into Crater Hoof? Whatever. Okay. They're a strange deck. I mean, they're Time Walk, Snapcaster, blah blah blahing, which is pretty good, generally speaking. With a Crater Hoof. I don't have a lot of sideboard for this. Frantic Search doesn't really do much for me. Yeah, not a lot of sideboard for this. Just need to not get blown out by Time Walk things. This is shaping up to be a tough draft. We'll make the most of it, but 0 power, not a lot of powerful cards. What are you gonna do? We have some pretty busted openers. Maybe I should have aggressively mulliganed there, not knowing what they had and being on the draw. Alright, game 2. I'll take the play, please. Okay, 7 lands in a time spiral is a mulligan in every format I've ever played. Force of Will, Tameo, keeping Narset, Wheel, Malcolm, probably getting rid of Currency Converter. Currency Converter is pretty good with Wheel. I guess maybe Malcolm. And we're just going to play a turn 1 Tameo. I do not want a Force of Will exiling Narset, but I will for certain cards on turns like 2 and 3. Very unlikely I see them on turn 1 though. Trop on the turn 1. Okay. I think I do actually have to Force of Will that. That's not what I wanted to see, but we desperately need some amount of traction going here to get through this. Wheel of Fortune's looking incredible. If we draw a red source, into frickin' untapped blue, don't love that, into a red source. I think I don't do it this turn into just untapped blue. That seems like a misplay. This gets Badlands, and then we can either Currency Converter or draw off the clue. Doesn't really matter which one we do. We're going to do one or the other. They could be counter-magicking this, and if that's their play, I'm pretty happy about it. Cool. They just passed up. Obviously, they had something there. This is why we didn't just slam a Wheel of Fortune. I want them to, like, slam an Oko. Xander's Land, please. Oh, that should have been a Badlands. That was a misplay. We go to combat. They have a Hull Breacher. Ugh. I think I just have to end turn, and then they just play Hull Breacher. Oh, they don't. That's super interesting. We're gonna currency convert this turn. If they want a Hull Breacher on end step, I'm kind of okay with that. Because I then get a Hull Breacher with Phantasmal Image. Take action. I play a Bloodstained Mire, and then I would like a Hull Breacher of my own, please. So, funny enough, how this I believe works is if I Hull Breacher, or sorry, if I Wheel Fortune or Vey Echo, we both just discard our hands and draw 7. In which case, that's fantastic for me. So we're gonna go get another tap land, and we're gonna play Currency Converter. Yeah, they've been holding up mana every turn this whole game. Put an exiled card, yes please. Go fetch. Go get our other Triome. I don't want to just force out the counter spell, but I might have to. Whatever this is, hopefully we have enough mana to pay for it. They have a treasure. Whatever. Okay. We're just waiting to find something that kills their Hull Breacher so we can draw all these clues, turn Tamiyo into a creature, or a planeswalker rather. Currency Converter, if I activate it, just makes them a treasure, so yeah, that's not great. Wow. They can blow up my Currency Converter. Currently they only have 2 forests, so it kind of doesn't do a lot. I would just make an 8/8. Yeah, I don't think we're winning this game. Unless we exactly right here draw a way to kill Hull Breacher. Or that. That also solves some problems. Echo. That's really funny. I make another clue, I guess. I don't know. We really just need to be able to kill Hull Breacher so that we can draw, but we can't. And since we can't, they got the mana drain off on us. I believe if they echo, we both just make 7 treasures, which is really funny. They could choose to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Feel like this game's pretty lost. Do it. Oh, okay.
Rise, Phyrexia, and charge to victory.
This is fantastic for me. What are we doing? I now get to draw so many cards. Like, we can echo. No? Psychic Frog? Okay. They have no tramplers. So we start by drawing off Tammy off of this. I can't snuff out. Gotta try again. They may have us here. Yeah, they got it. We drew Snuff Out a turn too late. Mana Drain got us. Well, Hull Breacher got us. We basically were playing against the Draw 7 deck, but they had better Draw 7 Punishers, and so we didn't have a lot of shot there. There's an argument we should have just pivoted entirely out into artifacts, but I mean, what would we have done there against the from turn 2 on holding up Hull Breacher and Mana Drain in our draw 7 deck? This is a fantastic keep. Easy. On the play, too. Alright. Rally back. Go 2-1 still with this silly deck. Is it the best Vintage Cube deck I've drafted? Absolutely not. Does it have a lot of potential? I would say yes. Okay. I'm gonna go get basic swamp because I don't want to get a tapped land, even though it gives us blue, so that I can play Deep Cavern Bath. See what's up over there. Okay. They have no second land, so they're all in on this birds. If I take Raphalos, they're even farther behind. If they draw a land and play Uro, it's devastating. But if they don't draw a land and play Raphalos, they're still in it. I'm going to bank on them not hitting a land. I think that's what I got to do here. We have a Wasteland as well if they play like a Triome. Just top deck an untapped land that's non-basic as well. Brutal. Into another forest? What are they, mono green? And now they have the mana. Okay, I guess we're booster tutoring. This is unfortunate to say the least. This is where booster tutor can do a lot of good. I don't want a swamp, thank you. Finding an answer that we otherwise wouldn't have in our deck. And it misses. Pretty hard, actually. There's like nothing here we want. Dreams of Steel and Oil can't hit the natural order that's coming. And everything else here doesn't help us. This is just terrible. We didn't even get an untapped blue land. Yeah, this is literally a complete miss. Alright, go to game 2. It doesn't really matter what the natural order for. Everything gets us. I want to bring in like Pyrite Spellbomb or Ghostfire Slice, for clearly they're kind of doing that kind of thing. I'm going to bring in just Pyrite and not the extra land. Okay. Wow, that booster tutor was terrible. I did an entire video about booster tutor and its odds and when you should play it and when you should have it, and that's the exact case scenario where booster tutor just loses you the game. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Turn 1 Netherglyph is good though. And then we hold up Remand. Just kidding. I play a tapped land, and I pay 4 life to kill that. Make Netherglyph 1 bigger, start getting it for some amount of damage. And then next turn we hold up Remand. And if they do nothing, we get to Phantasmal Image, also our Netherglyph. Playing against a second green-blue deck, by the way. Okay, yeah, we're always remanding that. Narset. And a DRC? Don't mind if I do. I would love to see Force of Will. One of our wheels. I don't want another land. We're absolutely down ticking this. Snuff Out's pretty good. Obviously not stuffing my own things, and it is an instant, which we already have. Could have taken Pyrite, makes both of these 1 bigger, but I think having removal for this 6 or whatever else they choose to play in their natural order deck seems pretty good. Also, I want to Surveil, since our last Surveil showed us a card we didn't want, another card we don't want. Get these lands out of my face. Mind Twist. Let's start with this. Stock up. Don't mind if I do. Swamp. Discard them down to 1 card. And put another thing in the graveyard for DRC. Wheel. Yeah, that's pretty good. When I have when I have a Narset out as a backup plan. Cool. All right, we did exactly what we needed our deck to do, which is we just tempoed out, didn't let them get things going. That's what we need. We need to prevent them from getting those early game creatures online. They seem like a pretty greedy deck on both mana base and cards. Turn 1 Snuff Out seems pretty good. Into turn 2 Deep Cavern and Emperor Phantasmal. We haven't seen any power. Doesn't mean they don't have it. They're in the colors, obviously, for a ton of different types of power. I can play a turn 1 Booster Tutor or Snuff Out. I think I'm gonna Booster Tutor, but we're gonna do it on their turn. We can go get Badlands here. Okay, I definitely am Booster Tutoring now. Badlands. Also means we have Snuff Out up. Booster Tutor. Show me power. Broadside Bombardiers, Undercity Sewers, or Inquisition. Or Tarn. We didn't see a lot in the way of artifacts. I think it's probably the fetch over anything else. We're short a land. I'm just going to take the fetch. It's pretty good here. Obviously, we're not playing it next turn because we're just slamming a Deep Cavern Bat to disrupt whatever it is they're doing over here. Deep Mystical Tutor in response so that we don't take Mystical Tutor. I probably wasn't going to take... Oh, for Mana Drain? Yuck. Oh. I take Sink into Stupor and you don't have a land and you're not drawing a land next turn. Wow, we stole a game there. Yeah, so if you don't understand what just happened, Deep Cavern Bat can't take a land, but Sink into Stupor is a dual-faced card where it's an instant on the front, and it's a blue land you can shock in on the back. They Mystical Tutored to put a card on top of their deck that wasn't a land, it was Mana Drain, and they had green-blue in their mana base on the board. So if I take the Sink into Stupor, not only do they not draw a land and they don't have a land drop, they also can't cast the Mana Drain they went and put on top of the deck. So they basically like time walked themselves, because then I get to untap on my next turn, play whatever I want to play, knowing they have a Mana Drain, and then they still need to draw a land to play anything, and a blue land specifically to play Mana Drain. So they basically kind of shot themselves in the foot there. It's an easy misplay to make. Funny enough, though, I don't know if they have much they could do around it, because they could just basically not be able to Mystical Tutor. On the draw, I don't think I can keep this. It's a turn 1 Dismember into possibly nothing. So we got mulligan. This is much better. Currency Converter, Booster Tutor, keeping 6. Put a land away, but I think it's actually Currency Converter. Turn 1, we're just going to play Triumph and hope. Oh. Okay. I like seeing Mox Sapphire no plays, but into putting Lutri in hand? What's going on over there? I'm going to Deep Cavern Bat. I could Wasteland this turn and then hold up Booster Tutor, but I want to know what's going on now. Fatal Push, Echo, Energy Acolyte. I mean, I'll take the Fatal Push. They don't have a way to get it back now. I don't care if they Echo me. They don't have a way to discard it right now either. Yeah, well, I like holding up Mana Drain quite a bit. So I'm gonna tap this. We're gonna go 2 life, 2 life, blow that up, and then hold up Mana Drain. And if they don't do anything, I just Wasteland them next turn and do the same thing. Am I mana draining Retrofitter Foundry? Unironically, I think I am. Oh, wait. Lutri can copy... Oh, you control. Yeah. I don't want anything to do with that. So I'm just not going to have anything to do with that. Mana drain mana. I can just play wheel. I can booster tutor first to try and hit a land. Wasteland. I mean, they're just gonna play Malcolm, or not Malcolm. Wow, this is choice. I think I'm gonna booster tutor first and just see what we're working with here. Entomb, Chrome Mox, Gristlebrand. Okay, once again, no power. Chrome Mox is pretty good. Steam Vents is pretty good here. We get a Retrofitter of our own. I think I'm going to take Steam Vents and then play Malcolm, and we have 3, 4 mana. So I'm just going to play Steam Vents and Wheel, putting Echo in the graveyard for them. They play Lutri. I draw 7. Brainstorm, but more importantly, a Force of Will. So we're not going to Brainstorm right now. This hand's terrible. We drew 4 lands. I really do not want to have to Force of Will whatever it is they do here. Yeah, you already have infinite cards. That's fine. Okay, that's good to know. They have an Ancestral and a Mox. But we've beaten better. So, holding up Force of Will here. That I have to Force of Will. 4 lands in hand. But if they have a counterspell here, we're just super boned. But not much we can do about it. Because they could just go land Echo, and then I'm pretty lost. I actually want them to Echo, so... Candelabra. Oh, they're an Academy deck? We have not seen a lot of artifacts, have we? I guess Retrofitter. It was a pretty... Could be like a late Academy, like they got pick, pack 3, and now and they had to like build from that. They weren't ecstatic about it, I'm sure. We play another Goy. It's a 4/5. Hit him for another 1. I have a land in my graveyard, so they very well could Echo. Have to keep in mind that Echoing reduces my Nevergoyf to a 0/1, so if it has damage recorded on it, it just dies. We'll go get our other Triome here so we don't draw it. Psychic Frog, yes please. I should play this Arid Mesa first. If they have like a Daze and a pay 3. Non-token creature. So if I sack Nethergoyf, they get back. Or if I sack Deep Cavern Bat, they get back the Fatal Push, which they can immediately use on Nevergoyf. So we have to sack Nevergoyf. And then Nevergoyf costs 3 and Delirium. So that's what I'm going to do. 4 or more types. So obviously a land. Instant creature. sorcery, and then we have to pick one of these instants to get rid of. I'm gonna guess Mana Drain's the worst of them. Comes back as a 2/3. And I'm more than happy to discard my hand to Psychic Frog to make it bigger. You can do that. I don't think I was supposed to wheel, thinking back to that turn where we mana drained. I think I was supposed to just play Malcolm. Oh no, that's pretty bad. It's a lot of mana all of a sudden. Basically card draw as well. Oof, tough draft. So we can discard cards to this. Discard a card. Discard a card. Discard a card. Just all lands. Oh, then now we have a kill spell? Oh, bounce it. Sure. That's a bummer. Pass the damage. Does this actually have something to go get? Am I silly? Yeah. Oops. Okay, yeah, another land off the top is gonna do it. Interesting. Okay, so... Mox, Ancestral, Echo... Yeah, we're kind of still in the same boat here, doing the same thing we were. I don't want to bring in Pyrite Spellbomb. I do want to bring in Ghostfire Slice to kill Urza. And some of the artifacty things before they get too big. I don't know. I don't think I played that game perfectly. This is a tough deck to pilot, but we are making the most of it. We'd really like to keep our streak of always going 2-1 or better alive. Only way to do that is by winning. And, I want to hold up Mana Drain on turn 2, and the only way to do that is to fetch for a Triome, because I do not have a red-blue land or a blue-black land, unfortunately. Bobble's fine. As long as this isn't a turn 1 Turbo Academy Tinker thing. Okay. That is an Academy. So they have 1 blue. We go get Xander's Lounge. Blue next and turn. They just pass? That's fantastic. I'm gonna play DRC. I could play Currency Converter. I like DRC better here. They have to keep the Bauble alive, otherwise this is just not even a card. It's just 0 mana. I do not want to deal with that. Thank you, no thank you. We don't have a land right now, and it's not a good land. But it is a land. I think it's still worse. We're gonna profs. We have so much we can do with our mana next turn. Stock up is a thing we can do with our mana, so I will. Into Brainstorm. We could put a lot of counters on this DRC. Ooh, Mind Twist as well? I don't know if that's really what we're doing, though. Make a huge DRC, and then next turn untap and make them lose every card in their hand. Like we go Brainstorm, almost certainly hitting a land, and Mind Twist, and then next turn we Mind Twist for 1,000,000. And then we... we profs first. Get the Surveil trigger. Yeah, this DRC is going to be huge. Oh, Nethergoy from the graveyard for even more value. Give me a land. That's not a land. Good card, though. And then we brainstorm. I don't want to put remand in the graveyard. I do need to hit a land. Okay, we hit lands. Woo! What's going on top? I want to hide remand and mind twist. No, I want to hide mind twist Narset. This is tough, actually. Mind twist remand is what I'm going to hide. And we're going to put remand on top. And then, on top of all of that, we get to play a Badlands and a currency converter in case they wheel us. No, I want all these cards. And now we go to our combat phase and just casually put 4 1/1 counters on this Dragon's Rage Channeler. Okay, we're in this. Next turn we have Narset holding up Remand. Well, that should find them stuff. Every artifact they find is +1 mana, assuming they don't have to tap the Academy first to play it. Let's see what we're working with. They need to deal with this DRC. That doesn't deal with the DRC. They could very easily have a snuff out of their own, but we're running out of ways for them to cheaply deal with this. Monk Sapphire, sure, that turns on Twiring Academy, and as a positive mana source now. Retrofitter. Oh, imagine I find my Wasteland eventually here. Okay, so now we have a Remand and a Narset. So we'll start with Narset looking for... I'm going to keep double blue up just in case. We're looking for Wasteland. I don't know if Mind Twist really does it anymore. They have just so many cards in hand. Force of Will is the card I'm looking for. That is not a Force of Will. That's okay. Go to combat. Attack for 7. They're on a 2-turn clock. Pass with Remand up. They have a lot of mana this turn. The hope is they won't have enough mana to do it all after a Remand as well. So like if they play like a Portal here, 3, 7, they have 8 mana, they can't cast Portal. Retrofitter doesn't go positive on mana with Academy unless you have Candelabra. They're doing math. Can't blame them. Trying to figure out if they have the mana to be able to do everything they want to do. And this is where Remand is so powerful. Talisman is fine. It's +1 to Academy and +1 for itself, so it's basically a free roll. It's only positive, once again, if they hit Candelabra. A lot of thinking. They're doing the math. Also, this is one of those cases where having something on board that can be activated in Currency Converter makes it less confident that I have something interaction-wise in Remand. At any point, I could Currency Converter in response to what they're doing. Also, they can't draw, because Narset's on the board. So anything that would draw them cards, like Coveted Jewel, doesn't work. Or Mightstone and Weakstone. Just a bunch of cards where there are artifacts that draw them. They've already done Ancestral, so if they have like Snapcaster, they can't Snapcaster Ancestral, although they could Snapcaster. Whoa. X equals 4 to target opponent, playing themselves to 10. Keeping up a blue and a black. Yeah, I'll try and Remand that. There's the Force of Will. Awesome. Okay, we go to game 2. Or game 3. This is for all the marbles. Man, their deck is strange. Snuff out might not be great. They have creatures. Yeah, I mean, I'd say this is the deck. We're doing it. Do you believe? Watch as I masterfully turn 1350 gems into 10 gems. 1,350 gems into 10,000 gems. I don't think I'd keep this hand against a Tolarian deck. It just doesn't do anything. This also doesn't do a lot. It's Force of Will, I guess. Opponent goes first. If we draw an island, we can also put up Mana Drain. We have to put back Urtai. So we play... Oh, okay, turn 1 Retrofitter. That's gotta get Force of Willed. Discarding stock up. Yep. No real choice in that. That is not the land I want to see. I need to give myself a chance to find an island to hold up Mana Drain. But, yeah, we're already we're 2 cards down now. Right, island off the top. Nevergoyf is good. So I will play it. I'd rather this get countered because I can eventually get it back to DRC. Yeah, we have a land and a Forcible in the graveyard, so Nevergoyf's already a 2/3. Tezzeret down ticks and goes and gets Sapphire. And then gets +1 for playing a Sapphire. And a Candelabra. Okay. Thankfully we can kill that. We already have a land in the graveyard, so I guess we're just gonna cycle Savai-Trio. We have to kill Tezzeret. As much as I would like to put pressure on them. They have Academy, that's a bummer. We've already used Force of Will, so other than Snuff Out, there's nothing we can get for free. Talisman's good. Alright. This is why we Force Willed the Retrofitter. They would just basically have already won the game. Energy Acolyte, and they have not sacrificed anything. They're not on the battlefield this turn, or a spell is warped, so I can cycle this, and it won't trigger it. We have Mana Drain for next turn. Malcolm, Mana Drain! Oh, we're saved. If they just attack and they gain their 4, that's fine. If they do nothing, that's also fine. Yeah, you can attack and gain 4. I'm not blocking. Okay, they're making a choice. My turn, I will play Malcolm. Snuff Out is fantastic. Go to combat. Attack with Malcolm. Remember they have Ancestral. I don't want Deep Combat. I want Snuff Out and Mana Drain, please. So if they go Ancestral Lutri, they have passed priority on the stock up. So what we're actually going to do here, I can pay 4 life to get rid of Energy Acolyte in response. Oh, it's a non-black creature. So if I Force of Will this, they Lutri it and they get a second stop up anyway. But it forces them to use the Lutri. But it means I don't have Mana Drain anymore. Wow, this is a choice. I'm gonna Mana Drain it. 4 of a Surveil and everything else. That's much better. And then they can Lutri it. Or Force of Negation. Interesting. Pretty fine with that. I would have Lutried. I guess they don't want me having the mana. I have 1 card in hand. Interesting. Pass. Now you take your 4 life, sure. Deal 4, gain 4. No robot. But you get a card. Yeah, 4/4 lifelink. One or more creatures. Holding up mana. Playing a talisman. In a way, we're in waiting room for their, Okay, well, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to try and do this because I don't want to do it on their turn. I want the Dragon's Rage trigger. Ooh. We already have a creature. Creature, instant land. Psychic Frog's not doing a lot for us. Is it? No, it's not. We don't have a hand. And I don't want to exile my graveyard. I have Nevergoyf and Malcolm and all these other things. Do we discard... Oh, an artifact. Yeah. That's Delirium. +1 to Nethergoyf. Alright. We're not in the driver's seat. They have a lot of mana. Non-black creature. Revealing. Please no wheel. Ancestral. Okay. Well, they can Lutri, Ancestral, and draw 6 cards at instant speed. Problem is they're kind of dying. 4, 7, 8, 9 next turn. Next. So you go there, and then you two go here. And if they do the whole Lutri, Ancestral... Oh, they messed up. You have to hold control. Just keeping Lutri back. We get a redraw. Brazen Borrower. Okay. And then we're Lutring the Brazen Borrower. To bounce Nethergoyf. Okay. Yeah, all this is fine. Resolve, resolve. Deal 2 damage and draw. They're buying themselves a turn. Oh! Narset prevents the draw, so I just discard. Yeah, I don't need the swamp. We go Nevergoyf. We go Dragon's Rage. They've already cast a Force of Negation. Oh, they can Candelabra for 0. I see, that's what they're holding up, essentially. They get a second Narset trigger. They miss. It's good to see. There's Academy. There's Urza. In response to that being made, we kill this. This is why we held on to Snuff Out all this time. Urza could spin to try and hit a counterspell. Do I care about wastelanding them when... I don't think I do. Like, they already have so much mana. They have a Candelabra, like... Whatever, they can do whatever. They're going to play their whole hand here. I'm getting rid of Wasteland. I don't think Wasteland does anything for me there. They get a 4/4. Candelabra untap. This is the problem. Like, Wasteland would have been on top. They're going to have 11 mana this turn, which I assume plays basically their whole hand. Capacan here, yuck. I need my flyers to do it all here. Yeah, they just play their whole hand. Emperor of Bones for Psychic Frog to draw. I can't draw a card, actually. Emperor of Bonesing Urza? I don't know. I mean, we're definitely playing Emperor of Bones. So then Malcolm goes at Narset. We're at 10 life is the problem. So I think we have to hold up Emperor of Bones for next turn. Urza makes 2 dudes. Energy Acolyte is a 4/4 lifelink. View battlefield. He has a 5/5. I'm gonna take Energy Acolyte. It's the biggest life swing if I need to do it in response. Go to attacks. I want Malcolm to go there. And this to go face. And then they trade with Malcolm. Yeah, Captain Cannonier's unblockable.
Shall miss your company.
Okay. This is the turn. If they play an artifact, Captain Cannonier's unblockable. They don't have an artifact to play. Preacher of the Schism is whenever this creature attacks while you have the most life, you draw a card and lose a life. Oh, we're perfectly tied. Oh. That could be huge. Before blocks, I activate. And they drew Fatal Push off the top? Oh my goodness. And now I'm dead. That's just nuts. Just nuts. That's our first real loss. It was a good deck. This deck gave it its best. Force of Will did a lot. Problem is, not having power is obviously a pretty big factor. And not really having a clear direction. I feel like we could have gone all in on the wheels thing. We missed a couple big pieces that we never saw, like Hullbreacher namely. And then we also faced and lost to faced two Hullbreacher decks, which made everything just a lot harder. Booster Tutor totally failed us. I made a whole video about this card. Didn't really want to put it in my deck, but it was the right choice because of how big of a swing it can be. But in this case, did me wrong. But yeah, that's today's draft. I'll see you on the next one.